Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today getting a little bit of a late start, but we're going to jump back on this project here, try to get it accomplished. It's easier said than done at this point, but try to get back on it. Watch out for that guy. But where we left off was we had the Airdog hose, you know, the feed line just kind of more or less plumbed up to the engine bay. So, you know, next thing would be taking off a bunch of stuff to get to that the fuel filter up there. We're going to delete that. I had already mentioned before I ran some wiring, and all I did was just ran it up in here just to give me an idea. And to compensate that, now that wire there, it's been fine. I got it on Amazon, you know, just a bunch of cheap rolls and whatever, but it's copper clad wire, and on short notice I couldn't really find anything on Amazon. So anyway, I went and just from Lowe's, just got a bunch of different colors, as you can see in there. Maybe you can't see. No, you can't really see, but I got like 6 different colors, and I'm just going to run solid copper wire, because if you know anything about the aluminum stuff, if it gets moisture in it, it just basically just, you know, corrodes nothing. So just going to try to, you know, keep every connection solid copper if I can, more or less. But what I was going to say is I'm just going to run from there, and hopefully all the way into the cab. I should have enough. They were only like 25-foot things, so there should be enough to run into the cab and stuff. But that's another thing. I'm going to try to figure out a better plan of attack, where to go through. Let me kind of show you what I got to run all this stuff. But just a simple switch panel, you know, put together, a piece of aluminum here, I think. But just that way I have everything, you know, together more or less. I have a switch for compressors. I'll have one for the airbag dump. I'll have one for I'll probably put a solenoid to drain, dump the water out of the tank, that kind of thing, you know, tank drain. So just that way I have everything together. You know, nothing crazy about it. But I tore the glove box out the other night and was kind of like figuring out if I could run it through here. There's really not a lot of room there. I was thinking about going through the wiper cowl here somewhere, which I just haven't taken time to figure that out yet either. But I thought about trying to go through here somewhere. I'll try to figure that out. But anyhow, just try to get it, you know, get the wiring run the best we can. Like I said, we're getting a little bit of late start, so who knows what we'll finish. But anyhow, just gonna probably start with just getting the wiring more or less in the correct area, and then try to, you know, get the Airdog done. Because actually, the Airdog, once we get that switched over, we should be able to move the truck around again, assuming I can wire everything right. But also got to think about the wiring for the Airdog as well. So we got a lot of work to do. But anyhow, guys, we're gonna get started, and we'll just see what happens here with this with this evening's video. So let's get to it. Alright, so I've been in the truck here for a few minutes, just kind of seeing where I want to try to place this here thing. So this is the only automatic truck I own. Therefore, you know, this here whole center console is new to me, meaning, you know, normally I would have a gear shift right here, but what I'm getting at is I never really liked this console anyway, just because it's literally a catch-all. Just, I mean, everything gets thrown down in it and stuff like that, you know, and I try to keep it clean, but it's, you know, it never doesn't always happen. So what I'm more or less going to do I want to try to find a better console, maybe out of a like a, I don't know what you would call it, but I know there's ones that don't have this big old thing right here where it's just a little short thing. But in the meantime, until I do that, I'm thinking I'm just going to place this here. I'm gonna go grab a drill so I can take this thing out. Let me try to get the light on here better. I'm gonna try to put this thing like so in the console right here. Try to get down low enough to where it'll clear everything, and yet I can still get that thing back in there for now. I was also thinking just more or less generically, just kind of just where it'll sit here for now, like I said, and then down the road if I want to change something. Honestly, this, you know, it fits here good, but it's just, I don't know, I would have liked to find something that, like Dodge doesn't have, not that I know of, doesn't have like auxiliary switches, like a place for them. And, you know, only Dodges I've ever seen, so I wish I could have found something that would kind of fit here, where maybe it would actually go right in this place, you know, something that would fit nice, you know, look factory. But anyhow, I'm either going to notch it out over here on the side, which my only concern there is I'm going to hit it with my leg, you know, driving, stuff like that. So I'm thinking just for now, you know, it'll more or less just sit, you know, get a piece of wood and just swallow it out to where it'll, sorry, just to where it'll sit up in here. You know, I don't need it to do anything fancy. It just needs to work right now, because I'd like to do some more work to this truck down the road. You know, maybe drivetrain and driveline and stuff like that. So for now, I'll just need it to kind of do its job and look good, and you know, maybe I can track down something more custom. I've seen them where they have for the pillar, but obviously I already have gauges here, so I don't want to clutter that up. You know, I thought about trying to figure out something to put up here, but at the same time, that's a mess in itself. So anyhow, guys, that's probably what I'm gonna do for that. And also, as you see, it's raining right now, but I'm thinking I'm gonna actually just come through this side of the firewall. There's a bunch of places over here, and I already knew there was, but I was just trying to kind of simplify, just try to keep a bunch of crap from coming through over here, and just try to, you know, divvy it up. But there's a lot more options over here, so that's probably what I'll do. I'll come through under here somewhere. All right, so let me show you what I got so far. This here is the more or less power to the pump. Little correction, this here, what I was talking about earlier, this just senses your key on power. The other wire up in the engine bay, it just gives power to the relay, and then when the relay senses the key on power, yada yada yada, then it kicks the Airdog on. So you do need to hook up obviously the wire to the battery for that. This just senses the key on power to the pump. Just to clarify, so it already comes with the pigtail, male and female, to use, you know, splice this into it, so your fuel gauge still works. It's just taking the power that would normally send to this pump, you know, to send it to the Airdog. So got that to run before I climb underneath. So then I just got this routed up here. This here is the obviously power ground to the battery or to the alternator, and then this here is for an indicator light. I apologize for not really filming because it is very close down here and just camera being in the way. But anyhow, so this here is the power coming from the tank that I showed you. That's coming back to the pump. You got the connector up here, top of the pump, done. Just some stuff routed out of the way. You see we got the feed to the Airdog, and we got this here. This one here is a return. And then here's the feed to the CP3 right here. And then I got the Airdog harness and my own harness there with the 6 wires in it running back to the back, but got them all more or less tucked kind of neatly out of the way. But that's that. But other than that, this here's my wiring back here. The more or less just got run right here for now. We'll obviously be doing whatever that here shortly, but nonetheless, got some of it knocked out. So I think now Range quit. I'm gonna try to put the truck in neutral at least, so that we can try to roll this thing back back under shelter a little bit. Give me some concrete up here to work under. But next step is gonna be getting the factory fuel filter out of the way, and then tying in the feed line to the CP3 here. So I think that's what I'll do next. One little tech tip. This is simple, but if you got to run some wiring, grab it. This is a piece of TIG wire here. Just bend a little something on the end, and that way I just shove it down through, you know, to wherever I need to pull back up through. Ta-da! Simple yet effective. And then in here, obviously, I just got this here, right? This here, just more or less generically. You can't see really. Grab the light. So I just got that run through the firewall there through a little grommet, and more or less it'll be, you know, close enough. So anyhow, next step is either I can work on that or the Airdog. I think I want to try to get the Airdog done. That way we can at least get this thing fired back up and that kind of stuff, because the other wiring is just for the air system. So I want to get the Airdog, try to get the Airdog done complete. That way we can actually drive this thing whenever I do figure out the rest. I mean, it's drivable after I do that, meaning, you know, there's enough air in the tank to where this has been sitting basically for a week. So anyhow, there's enough air in the tank right now to take it down the road if we wanted to. But anyhow, like I said, let's get this truck backed up a little bit so we can push it back a little bit, give us more room to work on. But to those that haven't seen one of these fuel filter delete block, I'll show you obviously once it's in there. But all it does is just there's an inlet, outlet. That's for your water and fuel sensor, just so it has someplace to go. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing to it. It just basically deletes that filter. Since we're running the Airdog, there's really no need. You know, you could leave it in there, but there's really no need since we got the Airdog filters. So anyhow, I'm going to work on getting all this tore out of there. Got to drain the fuel out of it, stuff like that. So. Yeah, it's good enough. Let's see here. So this is the fitting for the Airdog feed. So this is going to go right here on top. Make sure that surface is clean around it. Make sure you got your little rubber O-ring. I put some diesel fuel on it. And that's just going to thread right in there. We're going to torque it to spec. Ready? Beep! Beep! Torque to spec. You can get it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so the only other thing to do with that is to cut this to the length I want. I'm thinking I should run that hose differently now. Alrighty, that's all I am going to do up in here. Try to get a good view of that. Anyway, you can see right there at the back of it, got one banjo bolt, and that goes down the return. You can see that other banjo there, that's the feed line, but obviously we're not using that anymore. There's no pump connected to it, so I'm gonna try to. I don't want to totally get rid of it. I mean, I could, but anyhow, I'll figure something out later with that. But the feed is that one there, or the return, sorry, and there's got a return. So one comes from the rail, the other one from the CP3, right, let me zoom out a little bit, right there. So it's all together. Then I got my hose right here run. You can kind of see a nice shiny one right there with the writing on it. Right down through there, got it zip tied up so it doesn't rub on anything else. But yeah, the water fuel sensor, you can't, I should show you that, but it's underneath there. The other sensor was for, I'm not necessarily sure what this sensor was or was not for. I'm not really sure at the moment, but anyway, that there is no place to hook that back up, so I'm assuming it doesn't need to be. But other than that, we're ready to. Oh, they tell you to hook it up to the alternator because it's a better, corrosion-free connection, or a better chance of less corrosion. But I'm just hooking it up to the battery. The little LED light wires right here, the indicator light wires, I'll probably hook them up, just not right now. But all I really got to do to finish up here, hook these up to the battery here, and fill up the fuel canisters and the Airdog, the filter and the water separator, and then we can give this a shot. I'm pretty sure. See if we can get this thing to fire up. So let me get this battery connected real quick, and I'm gonna check the instruction, make sure I'm not missing anything, because like I said, I've never installed one of these before, but it's pretty straightforward. But anyhow, do this couple things real quick, and then we'll see if we can get this thing fired up. I just filled the separator, turned the other one off, put some diesel on the O-rings, make sure they're all sealed up. So let's see if when we turn the key, if anything happens. I think it kicked on, I'm not sure though. Super quiet. Oh yeah, definitely pumping fuel, but it's just really, really quiet. So let me do this. I'm gonna take this t-shirt out of here, wrap it around this. That way we can try to just purge as much out of it as we can. Wish I had another helping hand, but I don't. So let's see what happens here. I think I gotta keep bumping this key. Oh, we got fuel up here. Alright, I'm gonna call that good enough. I know I can get it better, obviously, but I don't have anybody else here to, I don't want to get fuel all over the place. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm going to I'm gonna go ahead and just put the intake back on, just so more or less nothing can get in it, no debris falling off. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll get to crank this bad boy over if it's not even got enough juice, because last time I had to jump it off last time. I think the key got left on or something or another, I'm not really sure. But we'll put that on real quick. Might have to get the battery charger out for a minute, but we'll see. Alright, well, we're gonna see if this thing will actually fire up. I put the battery charger. I don't know if this thing has enough juice or not, but we're gonna give it a shot. Not even a chance. Well, we got Old Faithful here to the rescue. So I got Old Bud hooked up over there, got the battery charger there. Let's see if we can get this thing to start or not. Take two. It's not saying it's in park. There we go. Not even, what the heck is going on here? Well, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I didn't even think the truck would fire up. I was messing with the stuff, trying to figure out how to get it to. Someone's got a voltage tester to see if one battery was drawing more than the other, yada yada yada. And I just went over here and gave it a shot again, and it freaking fired right up. So I don't know, it was different before because it wasn't allowing it. Even with Old Bud hooked up, it wasn't doing nothing. So anyway, the truck seriously just, I mean, it cranked right over, and it's been. It ain't even like fluttered or nothing yet, so we should be good to go. We're fuel gauge is working. Just about at just ate the tank there. Yeah, she's still got the little bit of. Definitely a lot better, definitely a lot more responsive than it was. Let me get away from that real quick. So one of you guys mentioned also that the decel and the, you know, when I hit the throttle, the decel, when it kind of like steps down and not just a steady downfall, was telling me the injectors. And I kind of already knew, or I already, in the back of my mind, I already kind of knew that I'm gonna put injectors in this truck. I just, you know, don't want to do it right now. But anyway, that's the plan, just to eventually just go through the thing, because I know, you know, now I know that how clogged that fuel screen was in the tank, that definitely, you know, need to, you know, who knows how long that has been going on, you know. And I thought the dealer, you know, they changed it out recently, so who knows actually how long it's been going on. But anyhow, I say all that. Like I said, I'm going to go through it eventually. I just don't want to put injectors in it right now. It still runs fine, but definitely a lot more responsive just by adding the Airdog in it. I don't know if you hear me any better or not, but I'm going to leave that run. I'm going to go park Old Bud out back. So leave that run for a minute anyway. I forgot to check for leaks. I don't see any at the moment up in the engine bay anyways, but I'll do that when I get back. So anyhow. Earlier, but everything looks dry here. Good so far under the hood, the Airdog and everything else. I'm gonna leave it run for a minute. Just step away from here so you guys can kind of hear me. But I'm gonna leave that run for a minute, and then we'll catch back up here in a little bit on what we're doing next. Alright everyone, so I got most of the wiring done back here, i.e. the compressors to the relays, the hoses routed more or less to where they need to be. I couldn't find any, there's a couple little screws on the back of the solenoid valve, machine screws, that I need for the dump valve, but I couldn't find, I know I have some somewhere. Heck, this might even be it right here. I've been looking all over. That's probably it right there, ain't it? Anyway, I just zipped out of there for now until I can find some. But so anyway, got all that ran. The power for the compressors I ran. So it comes here, then I put it inside the frame, just to try to keep it a little neater back here, and then popped it out right here. The filters for the compressors, just kind of have them here somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to put them yet. Just put them on so they could be on there. But other than that, that's done. I just gotta, you know, mainly the only other thing to do is just finish running this wire back there. I do have a lot more wires than I need, but I have some ideas down the road that obviously I like to have you know, switches for in the truck. So that's why I went ahead and like I showed you earlier, you know, I got that switch, got the switch panel here, you know, so that way we can more or less utilize more than what we need for this. So I'll probably roll this over into the next day, more or less. That way, you know, this isn't just a video about wiring and on the Airdog, even though the Airdog was a big part of it. But anyhow, I'll pick back up again tomorrow or the next day. I don't really know when I'll have time to work on it, but anyhow, see you shortly. All right, everyone, it's the next day. Still late again in the evening. I've just been working away here. I figured you guys would be kind of bored by watching me finish wiring this thing up. So I got everything pretty much done. Everything's wired in. I'm going to show you that the... So I didn't do anything special with the switch yet. I haven't decided where I exactly want to put it, more or less, but I have, I just have one wire in the loom that it's not going to be used at the moment. It can be used down the road. But I got this all hooked up. So this is the compressor on and off right here. And then the switch on the end here is the bag dump. So and then I'll turn that off. Then goes right back up. And then it goes up a little high, and then it'll kind of level off once it gets back to it. So one issue that I was having, like I just showed you guys, it'll dump the bags, it'll fill it back up. The other thing is, this solenoid valve isn't one where it doesn't have a release once you kill the pressure to it, so pressure stays built up in this hose that goes to the dump valve. So for now, I just cut a little nick in it to where it'll still work, but yet it when I close this valve on the switch, it'll actually bleed out and allow the bags to come back up. So here, hold this real quick. Where's the right here? This is the other 4 wires in that loom. I only used 2, one for this valve and one for the pressure switch down there. So I have other, I have a couple more options on that switch in the cab. Also, I'm going to add another solenoid valve for a dump, to where I can remotely dump the moisture out of the tank from the cab. So I'll wind up adding another valve like this, or even probably use this one. Use this one for that, and then find something different here where it'll bypass the air whenever it gets dumped. So, but other than that, everything I've tidied up most of the wiring. It's still a little messy, but I'm not dead set on everything back here yet. Meaning, I might change some stuff up. This is just more or less to get me going down the road, just so I can drive this thing and try it out. That being said, probably gonna take it around the rip around the yard here now, because everything's hooked up. You guys probably can't hardly see anything, but we're just giving her the old torture test at the moment. Giving her the sauce, making sure she's gonna hold. And so far so good. But anyhow, all right everyone, so this is gonna wrap up this video. Not a whole lot I got done today, or the second part of this video, but did a little no weight burnout. Checked all the connections afterwards. No, there's no fuel leaking anywhere. Everything else seems good as well. So going forward, next video, I'm gonna get some lights on this thing. I just don't have enough time to hook them up right now. So anyway, next video, we're gonna be getting some lights on this thing and actually taking it down the road and seeing how it performs. The front end has always been very rigid and bumpy, but back end, just driving around the yard, I can definitely tell a major difference in it. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't, go check out panicfabrications.com. You got some shirts and stickers, miscellaneous stuff. Go check it out. And thanks for watching, everyone. See you guys on the next one.